Hey, shalom, shalom. Let me check the volume here. All right, that should be good enough. First and foremost, call all Yahweh. Shem Yahushua, Shem Kadash, and of course, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations also go out to the fellow Akim that are out there on the highways and byways, pushing the truth across four corners of this earth, aided, of course, by the many, many videos that go out or uploaded and there for the edification of the hopeful elect of our people. This is Naaman once again with the Great Millstone Camp here in Washington, D.C., back for another video. All right, here's the copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research, all of which I am doing. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips to balance in favor of fair use. Once again, fair use, fair use, fair use. And for the video assist, we're going to Willie D's channel. This incident with this young man, Nolan Wells, down in Mississippi. For you assholes, it's Mississippi. What planet are you living on? Or have been? It's Mississippi. And what you're about to find out is, aside from the blatant disrespect from what it appears to be the medical examiner down there, when Colin Kaepernick paid for the shipment of his body here in DC. Oh man, this is some fucked up shit. It says trigger warning, and that's yeah. Wow. I had heard rumors over a week ago about this possibly being a KKK initiation ritual thing. Well, let's get into it. Whoops. Sorry. All right, here we go.
Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Trigger warning. We got a couple of young women who says that they spoke with a person who's in the body transportation business, and they saw the condition of Nolan Wells' body as it was being transported to DC for a independent autopsy. And what they saw,
I'm going to talk about Nolan Wells today. So today, we actually know someone that works transporting bodies, human remains, and things like that. So today I got a call from that person, and they were just talking about the body that they came across. This was Nolan Wells. So before knowing all that, he said that the body was mistreated. Yeah. It looked abused. It looked like he was tortured. Looked as if he was burnt, maybe. Where? Face, body, said he was burnt.
And not only that, his body was mistreated when they transported him.
So as they were transporting him, he was actually face down. So everyone knows when you're transporting a body, when, only a couple of people work that job, they all know you don't transport the body face down. It's kind of very disrespectful. So you all...
Yeah, not only that, I used to briefly deal with situations like that, and that was the one thing they told you, you don't do it not only for that reason, but you would disfigure the body. So my thing is, could they have done that on purpose to try to hide some evidence? Again, this is who we're dealing with, and this is why we're out there on the highways and byways trying to tell our people, these motherfuckers are evil, they are wicked. All right? And we're talking about Edom, the self-professed white folks. All right? If they are indeed Edomites, then yeah, they are the wicked that the Bible speaks of. This is what they do. There was no reason to do this. You could actually, You question why evil is evil, but this was just to spite whomever. A big F you, if you will. Wow.
Always have them faced up. Well, specifically his body whatever reason was face down. And me personally, I took that as disrespect.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to the family.
Yes, definitely.
Because all we know is what they put out
on the internet.
But today, we actually found out a lot about his autopsy without even reading the autopsy.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking.
I'm so sorry that family have to go through this. Really just...
I want to give our condolences to the family, you know, as a mom or moms,
grandmothers,
dads, family, period. You know, just we give the most prayers to you, and we stand behind you because we know right what really happened.
Right. So,
and at the end of the day, whatever lies those families have covered up, or whatever lies they're trying to cover, we're sorry.
Yeah.
And we're here for you, and we just want you to know that what was seen today was unacceptable.
It's unacceptable. And that's why we want to inform what's going on during the transport. Like that.
Something you can be quiet on
at all.
When you've seen something so heartbreaking as a child, you know, go through something traumatic.
Yes.
It hurts to know that was done to him in the ways that we can't even express.
Right.
And as a person, you should have some type of humanity.
Right.
And I felt like those people who was transporting him did not have humanity in no way, shape, or form. Because if I can feel the way I feel about the situation, just listening to what happened, you also can listen to what happened to this child.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, that is a child that you did that to.
Right.
So this child needs justice. Because we're not going to sleep until he gets it.
At all. And I heard the feds are in Mississippi right.
So what we're dealing with, fam, what they don't understand, when they're talking as if they're talking about civilized human beings. These people are uncivilized mutts. They have no empathy, no compassion, not even for themselves, but they target specifically black people. They go out of their way to try to make black people's day miserable. Even in death, they disrespect black bodies. This is because it's something deep down inside these uncivilized mutts that makes them the devil's advocates. I mean, they are.
Exactly. And you're not listening. We're all the videos that we put out, all right, that are there for everyone to see, to break it down, that actually what's happening, who these people actually are. He's said it, but without the knowledge of knowing exactly what's going on. They are indeed the devil's advocates. What's another one? Emissaries. Whatever. Keep it simple. Representative. Whatever. In the flesh. They are evil incarnate. All right? In the flesh. That's what they are. This is what this has always been. All right? You have these things that are set in opposition to each other. Life, death, righteousness, wickedness, etc. These things are put in opposition. And let's get the scripture on that. I don't like saying these things. And all right, let's see. What the hell is this? No. Okay. So let's get the Bible here. And let's go to the book of Sirach. And we're going to get that. All right. That's going to be chapter 33. I'm going to start 10 or 11. All right. So it says, and all men, verse 10, are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. All right. In much knowledge the Lord hath divided them and made their ways diverse. Just as was told you the birth of Jacob and Esau, right? So they were at war with each other in the womb. All right. Two nations are in thy womb. All right. as the prophet told Rebekah, because she inquired, all right, why is this pregnancy so difficult? Why is it so, it's Genesis 25, start around 19 when you read it. I mean, you can read the whole chapter. At the beginning, it's talking about the death of Abraham. But the point starts in 19. It says, 12. Some of them have he blessed and exalted, and some of them he sanctified and set near himself. But some of them, and this is what people need to understand, some of them have he cursed and brought low and turned out of their places. As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasures, talking about man, so man is in the hand of him that made him to render to them as liketh him best. So it's not up to you, you arrogant fucks who think you're in control. 14, good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another. They are, what's that fancy expression, diametrically opposed to us. They are, to keep it simple, all right. Let's get, let's see, what's another one? Hold on. Let's see here. Wisdom of Solomon. Let's go to 2. All right. I encourage you to read the whole thing. All right. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright. Our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. And this is before Yahweh Shai, what happened with him. All right. And this is the attitude of the so-called white man. For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a low spark in the moving of our heart, which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air. And our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance. And our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun, and overcome with the heat thereof. This is that YOLO, all right? For our time is a very shadow that passes away, and after our end there is no returning. For it is fast sealed, so that no man cometh again. Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily use the creatures like as in our youth. Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass by us. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place, for this is our portion, and our lot is this. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the aged. Again, showing no mercy, and they didn't, and they are not going to. There are times that are coming, all right? Well, these people are just going to, well, this expression used to go, let it all hang out, all right? Hence, scriptures like Daniel 12th chapter, verse 1, there's coming a time that has been unlike any other on the face of the earth, all right? 11, let our strength be the law, all right, of justice. For that which is feeble is found to be nothing. And that's the way they look at us. All right. Might makes right. All right. Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. And he is clean contrary to our doings. This is the so-called white man. He is contrary to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. And yet he took them in his mouth, as Psalms 50, all right, starting at 16 and verse 17 tells you. This was a big mistake of his, but in his greed and his arrogance, he's got to have it all. As Habakkuk, 2nd chapter tells you, all right? He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and objecteth to our infamy the transgressions of our education. That's as far as I need to go in that. But this is who you're dealing with. All right? Don't give two fucks. One, let alone two fucks. All right? And incidentally, what's the motto of the New World Order? It says no mercy, right?
Wicked. So you cannot reason with these monsters. You're looking at these people and you're thinking that they should behave like civilized human beings, like human beings who come from God, people who are godly, people who actually study the Bible and adhere to the part about compassion and your fellow man.
Since I mentioned it, let me go ahead and get it. This is Psalms. Hold on. All right. Let's go to 50. "16. But unto the wicked the Most High saith, What hast thou to do to declare my statutes? Or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth?" This is what they did. And they said to themselves, as it says in First Maccabees chapter 3, verse 48. All right. They put their images in the book of the law. All right. This is what they did. It says, "Or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee." And the example I like to use is their court system. They'll have you get up there and do something that you're not supposed to do, and that's swear. Will you raise your right hand, place your left hand on the book? Repeat after me. "I do solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth," and blah, 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 blah. You're not supposed to do that. All right? And then what does he do? He puts that off to the side and judges you on his shit. This is the pompous, proud ass piece of shit that you're dealing with. And he doesn't understand that he's been set up.
Man and woman and community and all. These people don't care nothing about none of that. These are uncivilized mutts. That's what they don't get. You're dealing with uncivilized mutts. And they're all over the United States of America. They're all over the United States of America. But they are especially assigned to law enforcement, any type of situations where that involve power. I'm talking about from the permits department to survey departments to law enforcement to healthcare to education. Look, transportation, all of the pillars of society, all of the industries that allow communities and countries to thrive. These uncivilized mutts are there. And so you have to deal with them. When you spot one, you got to think about, when you think about their actions, don't think about the law. Don't think about policy. Don't think about right and wrong. I heard somebody saying, well, why would they cover that up? Some fool said, well, why would they cover that up? That doesn't make any sense. See, that comes from a person who...
See, this is the type of Jake we be telling you about, all right?
Who is either short bus, window licking slow, or they're a mole. They know what's going on, but they don't want to say it out loud. They don't want to say it publicly. Or these fools are as naive as a damn deer who thinks that the headlights are the paparazzi. This is crazy, man. This is madness. To put a body face down on a gurney. I know that, and I ain't never had to transport a body. I'm not even in the business. I know that. I ain't never seen a body transported with face down. Look, even if I was not working in the business, if I just got the job today, if they hired me today, they said, Willie D, you're gonna be transporting bodies. This is what you're gonna do. If they don't tell me no other protocol, if they don't tell me nothing else, I know that you don't grab the body and drag it. I know that you don't put the body, you don't lay the body down legs first. I know that you don't leave the head hanging off the gurney. I know that you don't lay a body down face down. It's undignified. See, that's double respect. That's double disrespect. So this is why I said Nolan is not going to get justice in the state of Mississippi. Mississippi has perhaps the highest concentration of uncivilized mutts who are stuck in the 17th century. They are stuck. These uncivilized mutts can't be saved. The law can't even help them because they've been infiltrated. They've been infiltrated by the law, and the law don't want to help them. The federal government don't want no parts of Mississippi. They don't want to go down there. They don't want to deal with them. Mississippi is an abomination. Ain't no damn way I'd live in that damn state. I wouldn't live on the edge of it. I wouldn't. And they could say, man, we'll give you, just move here, man. We'll give you $10 million a month. I wouldn't move to Mississippi for nothing. They're dealing with uncivilized mutts. The boy body was beaten. We already knew this though, right? We knew it was foul play. We knew his body was beaten. We knew that. Somebody said, well, they initially reported that the sheriff said it was no foul play. A sheriff in Mississippi, I don't trust you. Automatically. I ain't gotta never meet you. I'm not laughing. Listen to one.
I'm not laughing because it's funny. It's just the stupidity and the outright ignorance of our people. This is why this scripture here is so important. And I got to bring this up because I watched part of an interview for the parents, Nolan's parents. And after hearing that interview, I was like, you know what? I can't invest emotion. Not that, you don't want to get emotionally invested in any of this because we understand judgment and all that. But when I heard those few words come out of his mouth about not seeing color, and you're living in Mississippi, I said, you know what? Here's the scripture here. This is why this is so important. This is Sirach, chapter 30, verse 3. He that teacheth his son grieveth the who? The enemy. What are you supposed to teach him? First of all, right history. Actual, factual history. Not get caught up in trying to appease the enemy by sparing his feelings. Especially when it regards your safety, your health. What these people have done to you and continue to do to you. I feel that not teaching him these things, that you handicapped your child. And this is the end result. This played a big part in what happened to him because he was too comfortable around these people. Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 30, verse 3. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him, because he knows that he taught him right. And he will have the proper tools to deal with situations like this where he shouldn't have never gone there, or if he did, make sure you come back with the people you went there with. But me personally, I would have never gone. Why am I going to be around a bunch of fucking rednecks? Again, he was too comfortable around these people. These are our enemies, our mortal enemies, in that they are trying to kill us. And as you see here, they have no problems doing so. And they have the law on their side. This piece of shit medical examiner, who she has a history, all right, of issuing false causes of death and shit, like to play along with law enforcement. Verse 4, though his father die, yet he is as though he were not dead, for he hath left one behind him that is like himself. Back to the video.
Speech you ever made, I don't need to know who your people are or nothing. You a sheriff in Mississippi, I don't trust you. Now, perhaps you can win me over. Perhaps with your deeds, with your actions, I can see what you're doing, and then perhaps, but just off the rip, you introduce me to a sheriff, any sheriff in any town in Mississippi, automatically, black or white, automatically I'm gonna be like, because I know what Mississippi is about. Check out the dad speaking in this press conference and how he talks about they came across the findings of Nolan Wells' body.
If I knew anyone who had a boat, I would have went out that night looking for my son. We tried, but I don't have friends with boats. But if I knew someone with one, I would have went out that night. And it so happened that his coach saw all the stuff on Facebook that next morning and called and contacted me like 5 in the morning, asked me did we want to go out. And I told him yes. So.
And let me say another thing, because I had forgotten until he just mentioned it. The coach, they did an interview with the coach in regards to this. Same old bullshit, because he's trying to protect. Remember, that town is majority Edomite, so-called white, with the power structure. So he's trying to save himself, really, his position, his job. And this is why we tell you, Jake, we are in a pit. This system that we're in is a pit. We have no power. So you got people in positions that, that's why he said whether the sheriff is black or white, it doesn't matter, because they're in the system. They have to work within that system.
Within an hour, he was at the dock. We met him, and we went out. We docked the boat, got out the boat, walked on the island, walked a pretty nice stretch, came back, got back on the boat, went around the island, looked, came back around, and where we went to, that's where apparently they say that his body floated up. I don't know a lot about water currents over there, but I would think that we would have saw his body. Mm-hmm. And
the dad is on to something. I don't know a lot about water currents, but I would have thought we would have seen something. Yeah, they took that body from that pool party where they beat him up. Not sure if they killed him at the pool party, at the house of one of his so-called friends, but he was definitely jumped at that house, beat him up, maybe killed him, but transported his body. I'm thinking that they killed him at the house and then tried to cover it up. Because if they was going to do all this other stuff, I don't think they would have had to go through all of those steps. So I think they beat him up, killed him at the house, came up with a weak-ass plan to transport the body back to the island and then come up with the theory that, hey, his body washed back up on shore. I think that's what happened. Whoever killed Nolan Wells was in that pool with Nolan Wells. They was inside of that pool. Absolutely. I absolutely believe that. They were inside that pool. His killer or killers is inside of that pool.
Look at that.
Yeah. So they came up with the plan later. See, but to devise a plan like that to say that he went missing at the
See, you have to understand. Our people get so caught up in making money and think that for some reason they got a little pocket change and they're going to be on some level with these Edomites. It don't work that way. It never will. All right, you at some point you hanging around them. At some point you're gonna learn that the hard way. And as it's in this case, what happened? They closed ranks. All right, and another thing about Nolan's so-called friends, running their fucking mouth. The investigation's still ongoing, and yet you're out here, police not interviewing you. Why? But you're giving interviews to these news outlets, which, from what I've seen, happen to be in contradiction to what the family and others are saying. So you're hindering or hurting, or both, the investigation. They shut their mouths up. They lawyered up. So even if you're not lawyering up, all right, which again proves something to me, but keep your fucking mouth closed. Simple as that. But it's too late for that now. I mean, what's done is done. But yeah, oh man, it's sad. But again, these things are happening for a reason. Job 4:7, all right. None of us are innocent. Like that young man down in Texas that's in prison, got railroaded. This is as they say, the dirty South. So I'm gonna stop it right there. It's like, because I got to get to camp. It's like 6 more minutes, a little under 6 minutes left. So I'll just put this in the description box. You can watch the rest of it. But the point's been made. Teaching our children, hey, this ain't no joke. You are still behind enemy lines. Don't fall for all that kumbaya bullshit. The civil rights era and all that shit like the mission was accomplished. No. Not until this bitch is destroyed and wiped off the face of the earth. Alright? So that's all I have for this. Once again, this has been Willie D Live. Trigger warning. What they say they saw when Nolan Wells' body was transported to D.C. Right? Damn shame, but we're out there trying to tell you what's going on. All right, and I can't probably. I'd be hard pressed to believe that he hasn't run across some videos of the Israelites, and he disregarded, fanned the hand. Hey. So with that, once again, I hope whoever views this has been edified. That's what we do here at Great Millstone. Filter everything through the scriptures as it should be. And once again, remain circumspect out here. This is why I always tell you. It's why we always tell you to do so. All right? There's a lot going on. Keep those eyes and ears open. All right? Not only locally, but on the world scene. All right? That's going to affect you here. All right, so with that, until the next video, hey, shalom, shalom.